a little bit about our family dynamic. So
I'm wearing my glasses because I'm missing Jaden. She's gone for a few days. She always makes me wear them. So I miss my baby girl, so I'm wearing the glasses.
yeah, and Abigail is of course in the back room watching TV. So we just want to take this opportunity to talk about blended families and those dynamics. Um, Jason and I got married in 2014, but we dated in 2009.
The end of it.
In 2009, so we dated for a while before we got married. This is gonna be a whole nother video, but so we're just talking about our family dynamic. Abigail is not my biological daughter, so she's my stepdaughter or my bonus daughter. So there's different challenges and different things that we run into with that because she's not in the same household all the time. So we just kind of want to talk about that to maybe help other families that might be dealing with that, and just talk about how we cope with that and what works best for us. So I'll let you give your backstory.
Like she said, we started dating the end of 2009. So Abigail was born in 2007. We didn't get married to 2014, so Abigail was turning 5 or 6 when we got married. Mm-hmm. She had met Candace twice.
Yeah.
Once at your job and then at the football game.
Yeah, something like that. I'm probably like maybe 3.
3, yeah. The soccer game too.
Yeah.
Yeah, so she didn't really know her,
mm-hmm.
but I'm thankful that they just clicked like that, you know.
Mm-hmm.
They hit it off really well when they first met and stuff. So, I have joint custody of Abigail with her mother. It's 50-50, physical, legal. So we share documentation and everything. We share time with her. We're on a 2-2-3 schedule. She's here 2 days. She's there 2 days, and she's back here 3 days. Then it rotates. She's there 2. She's here 2. She's there 3, and it just goes on. We have like holidays and stuff like that. Like this year, she had it for Memorial Day. She just came back almost an hour ago. So you know, it's kind of tough dealing with not having your child in your house all the time. But I think we handled it pretty well, and Abigail has adjusted very well to the schedule and the split time between households. Mm-hmm. We communicate with each other pretty well, I say. We text everything in a group text, so all 3 of us know Candace and Abigail's mom. Just kind of being intentional about it. It's not the best of best situation, but it's not the worst situation. So I've seen worse. So I've always wanted to remain an active father in her life because I feel like every child needs a father and the mother. So in most of these cases I see is more so the child is staying with the mother only. The father may visit, you know, a couple weekends a month. And I know for me personally, it just wouldn't work because I see the impact that I have on her. And I'm glad that her sister sees her here all the time too. So it's and Candace does really well with it. Like I couldn't ask for a better person to come in except Abigail as her own because their bond is just something is crazy to me. Like I would never have known that they would click like that. So.
Yeah, we just clicked automatically. One thing that I didn't want her to feel like was that I was trying to take the place of her mother because that's not the case. And I told her that I'm your other mother. I'm your stepmother, you know. So, she calls me Candace, and that's fine because there's still a level of respect there. I've never had any issues with her disrespecting me. We get along really well. We have a unique relationship, and that's the best way I can explain it.
That they do.
So we get along. She knows that she knows who I am. She respects my role in this household, and it's great. I mean, we get to laugh. We have our own little jokes that
they turn on me all the time.
she's always on my side.
I'm outnumbered.
And so one thing that I know that some people struggle with is how do you balance that when there's another woman involved, especially when it's biological mother. Mm-hmm. I say that the most important thing is having the support of your spouse in the household. And so Jason makes sure that that it's known that I'm the woman of this household. So even though Abigail was in his life before we got married, like I said, Jason and I, we dated before that, but that's a whole other story. But
we'll talk about that another time.
Yeah. But even though she was in his life before we got married, he made it clear that I was still going to be first because your spouse comes first. And I think that a lot of people get that confused when there are children that are outside of the marriage. They think that, oh, well, my kids come first, and then whoever I marry, they're going to have to accept that. Okay, they have to accept your children, but their spouse comes first. And if you can't accept that, it's not going to work.
It's going to be a struggle.
It will be a struggle.
I say for me, it was coming in having to make sure that statement, that foundation was set, that she knew and understood that, hey, you're my daughter, no matter what, it's never going to change. Candace is my wife. The wife is always going to come first. And just making sure those boundaries were set within her. And no matter what anybody else may tell her, because she goes around, she's in society, she's in a public school. She may see and hear different from her friends and peers at school and maybe others, but we have to let her know and instill in her that you're loved no matter what. This is the order of it. Mm-hmm. Is spouse and then children and then blah, 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 whatever else. So, and it wasn't easy, laying that foundation, but it wasn't that hard. It was just like committing to it and understanding why that's the way it has to be, and then just sticking to it.
Mm-hmm. And showing that family dynamic, making sure we maintain that structure. So even when she's here, that she doesn't feel like she's just a visitor in our home. Mm-hmm. She has her own room. She has everything that she needs here, as if she were here full time. It's just that she's not here full time. So when she goes home, her room is there. No one is gonna be messing with her stuff. She doesn't have to pack a bag or anything. Right. It's like she's literally living here, and when she comes back, it's just like she picks up from where she left off. And so that's the balance that we create for her, is the normalcy as much as possible. So she understands. She has a calendar where she knows, okay, I know I'm gonna be at my mommy's house this time, and I'm gonna be at daddy's house. So what are we gonna do when I come back? Mm-hmm. And I think that's good. Jaden's, she's only one, so she doesn't understand that concept just yet. All she knows is when Abigail comes back, it's Abigail. She's all over her and stuff, so she doesn't get that concept right now, which is fine.
She's only one.
Yeah,
a lot she doesn't get.
It'll be a while before she understands that concept.
We'll have that conversation with her when the time comes, though.
Yeah.
I think that's the main thing, like communicating with the child. Also communicating with your spouse on it. I know that was something that when I decided I was going to marry Candace, I've always known she's been a loving and nurturing person. Never really seen her around kids much. Mm-hmm. She's been around my nieces and my nephew a few times. I have a lot of them. Shout out to all my siblings. Y'all keep the family growing. Let's see. And then her mom, they were running the daycare center, so I've seen her in action around children up there and stuff like that. But I just kind of knew. And I don't think I've ever been concerned with how that relationship would be and how she treat her. And I'm just so thankful, like I said, because the way she treats her, you would never know that's not her biological child. And the way Abigail treats Candace, you wouldn't know that Candace isn't her biological mother. Although, as she stated, Abigail knows who's who. And it's just that communication. Like, we talked about it when we first started. And I told her, Abigail's going to know who you are. She's going to respect you. And I had to make sure that I backed it up. So Candace doesn't tell Abigail, no, you can't have this. And she runs to me and I say, yes, you can. We have to be on the same page. Even if it's something we disagree with, I'll go with it at the moment, or she'll go with it at the moment. And we'll talk about it after.
Yeah. The important thing is having a united front. And that's just not even with blended family. That's just all kids. Because them kids will turn on you. They will turn. Tough. I'm laughing because I think about at Disney.
Well, hold on. What part of Disney? What you talking about?
The headphones.
So yeah. What, we gotta talk about that right now?
We're not talking about that, but I'm just laughing because it was funny.
Go ahead. It was kind of funny.
Well, so we went to Disney World in December. And
I forgot all about that.
Abigail was throwing. We had to go back to the room to take a nap because we were tired, from doing Disney. And
I had to do homework.
He had to do homework. Yeah. I was still breastfeeding, and Jada was not in Disney with us, right. So I was engorged. So we were all struggling at that moment. So we were like, okay, we're just gonna take a nap. We're just gonna chill out for a minute. He's gonna do his homework, and we're just gonna take a nap. Well, Abigail didn't want to take a nap. She started pouting, and that is a pet peeve of Jason, especially since she's 10.
I don't play that.
You're 10, so you're okay. straighten it up. So, and that's one thing about us is we're big on discipline. Because that child needs that structure. You know, we're your parents, we're not your friends. Right. So anyway, so she was having a moment. I didn't even know that she was pouting until Jason said something, and by that time, it just went all the way left field, and he was mad, and she had some headphones that we got her for her birthday. Well, he got mad, and he got the headphones.
He mad? I got discipline.
He got disappointed, and he got the headphones, and he said, "You mad? You gonna tear the headphones?" What did you say?
So you mad?
Give me a headphone.
You gonna throw a fit, huh?
He just headphones and just ripped them and threw them across the room, and I'm just sitting there like, I'm not gonna say nothing in front of Abigail. But I'm like, did you have to tear the head? We just bought those headphones. We gotta buy more, and we gotta drive 13 more hours without headphones. So
they can be replaced.
So I talked to him afterwards. Needless to say, he know he went too far, and I was just like, I was trying to explain it like, so we gotta drive back to Arkansas with no headphones. So what the punishment was for him was for going a little, just going too far, but.
We had to buy some more headphones.
But we had to listen to the same clips because she likes to rewind the same clip and sing the same song over and over for 13 hours. So
we bought some more
headphones after that trip. But the whole point was I didn't combat him in front of her. I kind of told him afterwards. I'm like, did you have to tear him up? So
I didn't have to tear him up.
Yeah, he didn't. But the thing is, I wasn't gonna let Abigail see me say that to him. Because then she would have played that against us, So it's just all about having a united front. I just thought it was a funny story because I was just like, dang it, we just got those. But anyway. Yeah, so those are just some of the dynamics that we deal with. Holidays, we have a set schedule for holidays for how those are split up. So
we flip-flop years.
So
we'll get Memorial Day next year.
Yeah.
We have 4th of July next year, I think.
Mm-hmm. So we don't have it this year. We have
next year. We have odd years, 4th of July.
Yeah. So, so for some families have traditions where every Christmas Eve we're gonna do this, or every Labor Day we're gonna do this. But with us, it's like the tradition is this is what we're gonna do
this year
when everybody's together. Yeah, right, this year. Right. So, for example, for Christmas, we might have everybody open the stockings. Well, if Abigail's not with us on that time, we'll find another time to open the stockings, or on Christmas Day, she's either with us that morning or that evening. So we'll have her at some point of that day. Mm-hmm. So what we'll do is, with our younger kids, is they'll probably open some of their gifts that morning if we get Abigail that afternoon, and then we'll do all of them with Abigail. We'll figure something out, but we have to get flexible with that, and that's okay because it's not about the exact time and all that stuff. It's about the actual time you spend, and it's about making sure that she knows that she's still a part of this family, even if she's only here half the time.
Right.
So we get her on your birthdays. We get her on Father's Day. So that's every year. So we can plan things like that, but you have to get creative. For vacations.
Yeah.
We want to plan things on the weekends. It's like, hold up. Okay,
family get together.
Let's look at the calendar. Yeah. Okay, our weekend is then, so we got to do it this weekend.
Right,
so, even with the baby shower, we have to make sure, like, okay, Abigail is going to be here that weekend. So that's when we're going to have the baby shower.
Yeah.
Because we want to make sure she's included because it wouldn't be fair.
At all times.
Yeah, so it wouldn't be fair. Now, granted, there are some things that we are going to do, and she's not going to be here.
Right.
Because also we do have another child, and we will have another child.
Yeah, Jaden, so we got a little boy on the way.
We got a little boy on the way, so we will have kids that are here full time in our household, and there are things that they'll get a chance to do with us because they're here full time.
Right.
But because some things are just gonna fall on that specific day, and she's not with us. Like we have different things at our church that happen, and we're not gonna skip out on stuff like that just because she's not here because that's not their fault.
And she understands that, though.
Yeah.
Because she goes and does things with her mom, that we probably don't do and stuff.
Yeah.
So her siblings wouldn't do. Mm-hmm. So she understands it. It's just due to the situation, circumstances. So it's like you have to make the best out of the situation. Mm-hmm. You can't just let the situation go along, on its own. And how some folks, always say, it is what it is. It's what you make it.
Mm-hmm.
Especially in this situation. I've seen this all my life from just peers and just growing up where I come from. A lot of people just don't take the initiative and try to make it better.
Mm-hmm.
I know quite a few that do, and I've learned from those people. So, and this is us, trial and error also, and just with her, is we really take time to think about something before we do it, because like she said, we want her to be included as much as possible, because she's a big part of this family. So just because she's not here all the time doesn't mean she's not a part of us. And trust me, you ask her, she don't know any different. She's a Brooks through and through with us. Um, Heck, she comes up with these wacky words. I say, it's not awesome, but it's Brooksome. Yeah. It's her word. So, it was some food she called Brooksome. She puts Brooks on everything.
Yeah.
So she's
one
Team
of Brooks.
Yeah, she's Team Brooks through and through.
Yeah.
So, but we love that little girl, and we wouldn't have it any other way. So we're just making the best out of the situation.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's tough not having her here all the time, and Candace feels the same way. But through the circumstances, we make the most of it.
Yeah, I said that the biggest thing is just communicating with your spouse, because there are some times that it's not all unicorns and glitter. So there are some times when I'm frustrated with Abigail or something, or the situation or whatever, and I talk to him about it first, about like, okay, this is what's happening, or she's having a fit about this, because again, you have to have a united front, but that spouse has to back you up, because if I felt like he didn't care, or if he said, well, that's my child, you don't say anything to her, or then I'm not going to feel like I'm being the true woman of the household.
Right.
And I have her the bulk of the time if he's going to work or different things like that. So I'm the caregiver of the house. I'm the nurturer. And my kids going to respect me. So.
And that's the thing, like, Abigail understanding, like, allowing Candace to operate in her role as the caretaker of the house. Like, because she's here more than I am. So she looks after all of us, me included. And Abigail sees that. She sees how Candace takes care of me. When I come home, she's here for me. I can talk to her. She's my best friend. So Abigail sees that. So it's great. And it's important to us that she sees that dynamic. Like, what is a wife supposed to be? What is a husband supposed to be? Because I know most young girls are going to look at their fathers, the man they're going to want to be like with, or the man they're not going to want to be with. And they're going to look at the wife, the mother type, as the woman I want to be when I become a wife. And she sees that with us. And it's important that we put the right image out there for her to see. She sees the struggles, She doesn't see us fighting and stuff like that. So arguing, yelling at each other, which
and that's important.
I don't do that anyway. Time for that.
I think she might sense tension, and we're like, go to your room for a minute.
A little bit.
We gotta talk a little bit.
Thankful she's still like oblivious to us. She's still an innocent child, but
we know how to manage that well in front of kids and stuff. So, we kind of know how to shut that down. Yeah. Real quick.
And that's a challenge too.
Yeah.
So, like you said, it's not all unicorns and glitter.
Yeah.
It's been 4 years. It's been challenging throughout the time, but it's been a blessing all the same, because we've learned quite a bit. And, I like to say that we've grown with each other, with our kids. Yeah. Especially that one, with her being the oldest, and this is a situation with her. She plays a great role in setting an example for Jadens and the unborn. Yeah. So they're looking up to her as the big sister, and she's accepting that role quite well, I think. So, but we have to help her along the way, because she's never been a sister before, never had a sibling, and both of us have siblings, so we know what it's like to be the elder sibling. Yeah. At some point. Like, I know what it's like to be the younger sibling.
Yeah. I've always been either the oldest or
the shortest. Anyway, so
one thing that I would say to encourage you, if you are going through the situation where you have a blended family, or it's kind of rocky and you're having any struggles, go to the church. Go to your Bible, because your Bible is the ultimate guide. Yeah. And at first I said, well, the Bible doesn't talk about no blended family. I'm talking about no stepchildren. Yeah, it does. There are plenty of children born outside of wedlock in the Bible. But also, and even outside of that, the main thing is the family unit. The husband has a role, the wife has a role, and the children have a role. Stick with that.
Yeah, that's in the Bible. Yeah. And I would say, like, to the guys out there, fellas, if you have a child outside of wedlock and you're married to somebody else, the main thing you have to do is remember your wife is going to come first. You need to communicate with her. So I know a lot of times we struggle with trying to put the wife and the mother of the child on the same level, and you just can't do that, because the wife is in your home. The mother of the child isn't. Not saying you be disrespectful to her. You communicate, but you need to keep communication between both. Your wife needs to know what's going on with you when you're conversing with the mother of your child. If she's not included, how can she help? Because remember that when the child comes over, she's in the household with you and your wife. So your wife needs to be up, caught up to speed with everything. Let her know she's just as important as you are in the situation, because she's going to help you throughout of it. So if you have a 1A and 1B, that's not the right way to go. There's only there's one spouse. We don't get a side piece or side chick. And I know from watching, like, a lot of guys struggle with, like, well, that's my baby mama, or she the mother of my child, we always going to have that connection. Hey, call it what it is. Y'all got a child together. That's it. So don't try to force being a nice guy to her because you don't want to deal with that. I mean,
you
Candace,
be nice.
Yeah, you be nice, no doubt. But Candace helped me out a lot, like, with understanding what made me realize, and I had to look at who she is. She's my wife. I had to get her that security that you don't have to worry about me drifting backwards, because I had a previous relationship with somebody, I had a child with her. You don't have to ever fear that I'm going to be walking back between the lines and that you got to compete with her just because she had a child first.
Mm-hmm.
You're the first person in my life.
Yeah.
Then my kids, everybody else follows afterwards. So to the guys, like, the main thing we struggle with is trying to put them together on the same level. And that's just, you only have one wife. Mm-hmm. I mean, yes, she's present because you have a child with her, but she's not on the same level as your wife.
And she doesn't have the power in your household.
Exactly.
I think that is why a lot of people run into the issue is that person has say in your household.
And they don't.
They don't. And
it's for women out there. If you got a father, a kid with a guy, what I'm saying? Same thing.
And it's gonna take the spouse to set that tone.
Right.
And that's one thing I commend Jason about, is because he set that tone. Is that, like, you're the woman of this household, so we talk together about the decision we're gonna make. And I talked to him about that.
And it goes back to the guys too. Like, you don't have a say so in the mother of your child's home either. Mm-hmm. Whatever goes on with your child over there, you don't control it. Yeah. And you can't. I mean, trust me, you can't.
And now, unless she's in danger, your child's in danger, then of course you would, intervene.
You communicate on things like with Abigail. If it's something like if she brings home a bad grade and we get the grade book that day, we text her mom and let her know, like, hey, this, and tell her, like, we're going to implement this study habit for her. We're pulling her back on TV time for this. And it was like, hey, these are the things we're going to do here. If you have any suggestions or you like to let us know what you're doing over there so we can stay, all on one accord, so she has some consistency between the two. Here we are with this. Now, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but you have to take the initiative to let her know, like, hey, this is what we're doing, and that's the most you can do. You can hope that same thing is initiated over there, or something is given back to help you over here, but you can't control it. Mm-hmm. But you have to communicate that, and you also have to make sure your wife knows first. Mm-hmm. I mean, you can't just go, well, I told her this. You got to keep your wife in the loop first, because she comes first, Mm-hmm. So, and that's something I know in this society, in this generation with guys we struggle with. So, from experience, mm-hmm. Trust me, if you want a happy marriage, I've done it the wrong way. I didn't always tell Candace about it.
You never want that. You don't ever want to leave that door open for that temptation. Nah. Not saying that you don't trust your spouse, is that you don't trust the situation because there was a previous relationship with that person, mm-hmm. And so there's a soul tie there. I'm not even talking about somebody you have a child with, somebody that you were used to date before you got married.
You've been intimate with.
Yeah, you've been intimate with. You have to be careful with that because you just open yourself to temptation. Why walk close to the fire if you're made of gasoline? So
it's kind of stupid.
It's kind of stupid. So it's like you don't know if you've gotten too close or gone too far until you've gone too far. So it's kind of a crazy analogy, but that's all I had. But
stay away from the fire, you might get burned.
Stay away from the fire, you might get burned. So it's just creating that security, like he said. It helps me feel secure in knowing that that communication is just exactly what that is. It's just communication about the child, and I'm in the loop because sometimes he just forgets to tell me, or it's like little details, and I'm just like, if we're in the same text conversation, I'm like, okay, I already know because I saw it myself, or you said I saw what you said because you're just not that detailed, but it's not your nature. I love you, but
depends. It depends.
And it's okay. Nobody's perfect. And so that's just the best way that we operate. Mm-hmm. We don't know everything about blended families. We're still learning.
We're only 4 years in.
We're still learning how to raise children, period. Still learning how to be married. Mm-hmm. You're never going to stop learning. Right. you know. So
what I say, the day you start learning is the day you stop breathing.
Yeah.
You learn something new every day.
Yeah. So we just wanted to share that, though, for people who may be struggling with that, or maybe thinking about, you know, how do I deal with this, or how do I deal with that.
And remember, like, if you got some advice you can give us on it,
Yeah.
you know, hit us up in the comments. Or
Yeah.
if you have a question or something, hit us
Yeah.
up in the comments.
Well, we'll put our email address in the description box.
If you don't want to comment.
Yeah, you don't have to comment or whatever. You can email us if you have questions, or if you want to say, hey, you made a good point about this. Have you thought about this? You know, so we're open to that. We can all help each other. That's what
because
we're here
we're
for.
not perfect. We're flawed.
Right.
And we're always looking for some ways to improve. So
that's what we're here for. So,
and to help others.
Right. So, yeah, that's pretty much it.
Hey, Jay.
Okay. Anyway.
It's my baby.
She can't see that unless we show her the video.
We're going to show it to her. She'll see it. She'll like the glasses.
Okay. She'll start clapping.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, anyway.
Secret identity.
Thank y'all for listening, and we'll talk to y'all next time. Bye.